Warning. It is the opinion of the Forestry Productions LLC and the Working Perspectives podcast that we should inform you that some of the language used in this recording could possibly be considered offensive. You have been warned, so if you decide to listen to the recording, then don't complain about the language. If they do want to fight in the Coliseum, then it should be mandatory that they fight to the death.
I agree. I'm in. Because then you want to charge me $200 a pay-per-view? You want to go?
I'm tuning in.
You want to go $199.99?
Yeah.
I'm in.
Deal.
It'll be the most bought pay-per-view of all time if they're going to fight to the death.
Or if they won't do all that, they should put a stipulation in, like, loser, like, has to, like, if Zuckerberg wins, you know, Twitter is done forever. If Musk wins, then Facebook is
out.
gone forever.
They should bet their platforms, right? Like, if Elon Musk wins, he should get Facebook and vice versa, right? Yeah, that's like a great one. Yeah, man. Hi, hello, how are you? And welcome to the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, come today by Strong Stem Steve Cabot, Lasmeeshma Liam Reese, and the bad boy Bern Podcasy, Bern Podcasy. On this show, we're going to be bringing you topics from around the globe. The topics are going to fall under three different categories. The categories are Stupid Is as Stupid Does, Incredibly Incredible, and Sports and Speds. Strong Stem, how are we doing, my man?
Listen, I'm just out here trying to pay my respects to the son of Lady Guadalupe. You understand? I love Jesus.
Shout out, Jesus. Shout out. Lasmeeshma, how are you, sir?
I'm pretty happy not to have pink eye. So anybody that was with me over the weekend or over the 4th will get that one.
Right. I'm also extremely happy not to have pink eye. Bern Podcasy, Bern Podcasy, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, man. It's July 5th. We got 10 fingers. We got 10 toes. That's always the goal. So, you know, another successful year.
Yep. Shout out successful fireworks. Well, speaking of fireworks, this is the Working Perspectives podcast. Let's get this thing started. Let's go.
It's all objective to be effective by voicing societies. Working perspective, exploring your day and how you get paid. Launching a new episode every Tuesday. Your day can transform while we inform with new episodes available on every platform. So check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid. Share and subscribe. We're just sharing. We're just sharing. We're just sharing. Working perspectives.
All right. So this is the Working Perspectives podcast. And like I said, we're going to be bringing you topics from around the globe. Topics are going to fall under three different categories. The categories are Stupid Is as Stupid Does, Incredibly Incredible, and Sports and Speds. Lasmeeshma Liam Reese, get us started with Stupid Is as Stupid Does.
All right, we're going to Palm Beach, Florida. Once again, keeping those numbers up. A 44-year-old Florida man has been arrested for stealing 69 birds from their cages at a home in Lake Worth Beach. The resident returned home to find that there are 20 cockatoos, 20 pigeons, 15 canaries, 10 baby cockatoos, and 4 parakeets had all been stolen. Damian Romalo is facing felony charges for armed burglary and grand theft. There was security video of him showing up. First he showed up, he scoped the place out. He was wearing like a hat, but he had like this beard that's very recognizable. So he disappeared at about 8:30 a.m. Then he came back with the same recognizable beard.
Yes.
Just dressed in all camouflage. Then went in and stole a bunch of birds worth $10,000.
Oh.
And
So hold on. Did they say how big the fine is, or what the charge was for $10,000 worth of birds? You're catching a real charge,
dude. Felony armed burglary and grand theft.
Grand theft.
Whoa.
Yeah, so he was armed to steal $10,000 worth of birds.
You never know, that pigeon might bite you. You know.
Dude, you gotta think there's an easier way to steal $10,000 worth of anything, right?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. What did he say? And did he sell any of the birds, or was he caught before he could sell them?
Oh, he didn't make it. His apparently his beard was just so recognizable that they were on this guy, dude.
Even with the camo on?
The camo, I guess, did nothing. He should have shaved and came back in camo.
I should have shaved.
Go ahead, Bern.
I think $10,000 is the limit for grand theft. So I think just by hitting that $10,000 mark, anything above that is grand theft.
Right.
My questions were, what kind of camo was he wearing? Because he was going into somebody's house.
Hopefully, Desert Storm.
What was he trying to blend into? And also, what's with the birds? Like, who's stranger? The guy who steals 70 birds, or the people who just have 70 birds?
Agreed.
I mean, it's
now listen,
more questions than there are answers. I feel like.
I agree with your assessment, Bern. I have a very good friend whose father happens to be a strong Sicilian man. So when we grew up, he had 100 birds, but they were all pigeons because you can control them. They go out, fly around. To have different birds is a wild scenario. And I don't mean to be shitty. I don't mean to be. I don't want to go here, but I'm sorry. Repeat his name again, Liam.
Damian Ramallo.
So it sounds to me like this could be a Cubano. There's a lot of them. Maybe it's a Spanish feller down there, right? I don't think he was stealing them birds to sell them. I think they were trying to have dinner. Maybe feed some kids. This is a come up. I could fill my freezer with these fake chickens. You know what I mean?
Cockatoo.
I mean, some
little barbecue
big,
sauce. Who knows?
Right? Yeah, like a cockatoo is pretty big, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I know the pigeons are decent.
Yeah,
pigeons are a decent size.
Canaries are little.
Baby cockatoos. Parakeets, they're small.
The canary's the one from Dumb and Dumber where Petey lost his head, right? That's a canary. Okay, okay. So they're really small, right? They don't get no bigger. They're really tiny, right?
Well, maybe you might be onto something though, Steve, because a lot of those birds could be considered a delicacy at a high-end restaurant, right? So what if he's like, hey, I get you these birds on the cheap. Now you got specials for a week selling
I like
stuffed
where your head's
herring
at.
or whatever the hell So
he's not a robber. He's an entrepreneur.
Not wrong. Wow. But hold on, Liam, could you go over the birds, the species, and the number one more time?
All right.
Go over the haul.
The haul was 20 cockatoos, 20 pigeons, 15 canaries, 10 baby cockatoos, and 4 parakeets.
What did he have? A truck or something?
Yeah.
Right?
So that's what blew my mind about this whole story is removing the 69 birds, stealing them. That's not exactly something you just stuff under your jacket and walk out.
Yeah. He's got a cat carrier. He just pushes them in it.
Yeah. You just back a box truck up and start chucking bird cages.
They all have to be in cages, right?
Yeah, I would think. Yeah.
And I know for a fact that you don't keep pigeons. Like I said, the only reason because the old Sicilian guy, but pigeons stay outside. The rest of them, I'm pretty sure, are indoor birds, like cockatoos or whatever. They're indoors, right?
Well,
so I know pigeons are never indoors.
Prey.
Yeah, pigeons are never indoors. They're always outside in their own cage.
They have a coop, right?
So he hit the crib and the backyard,
or the roof.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Solid.
Man, maybe he knew the call for the pigeons.
Oh, he gave him the Mike Tyson.
We're doing the training day thing or something. Yeah. Man, still, I mean, shout out to Florida. Thank you again. Always coming
Never
through.
let us down.
Yep, but that's real good stuff, fellas. Real good stuff. Let's keep it moving. Strong Sam, what do you got for stupid is as stupid does?
Now listen, I'm not one to follow others, but I gotta follow Liam, right? We're going back good old Florida.
We never left.
Our number one sponsor of the show. What we would call the well. When I need to dip back into Old Faithful, we go right to Flow Rider, right? So off the coast of Daytona Beach, there's a small island that has been dubbed Meth Island, where squatters have somehow did enough meth to row their boats over to this island and not just devise a entire basically shanty town you would see in a poor Dominican village, but they also have such elaborate structures that they have a 4-story treehouse, a trampoline, and my personal favorite, signs that point you to the welcome center. So you pull up on this island, you're on some nice kayaking thing. Outside Daytona Beach, there's like Cocoa Beach. There's all those Cape Canaveral. It's all these nice places. There's like sharks and all this cool stuff in the water. Next thing you know, they pull up to this cool island. You're like, what is all these? Is this a third world country? And then there's the welcome sign to show you where to check in, which I don't know. What do they give you there? Like a fanny pack full of, the essentials, which is a little different there. But to be able to create, they had a picture of the 4-story clubhouse, treehouse, whatever you want to call it. But as your mind can think of someone that's created an island off of methamphetamines, it's exactly as you would picture it. It is 430 different odd sizes of plywood with the strangest shutters, different angles, steps that lead to nowhere, but then eventually get to somewhere. So I don't know if you have to like jump off one thing, climb to another, get to the other, but it is one of the most, until you see the meth is involved, but impressive Gilligan's Island that I've ever seen. Shout out to Florida.
Shout out. I mean, these meth people just needed something to do. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
And
rowing wasn't enough. Getting into the island wasn't enough. We needed to build a colony when we got there.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bern.
They check your bag at the welcome center. They're like, "Oh, toothpaste? No, you won't be needing this anymore, guys. Don't worry about that. We're gonna hold on. We're gonna trade it back on. You're good to go on that."
No.
Can you imagine they confiscate stuff?
It was so hard for me to keep my mouth shut during this because when you said the welcome center and the signs, I just picture you get there, you follow the signs to get to the welcome center. Then when you get to the end, they just rob you at knife point.
Yeah, look at the sign. Look at the sign.
So this is what came up. So I guess, Steve, you're 100% right. No two
Look at
boards,
that.
No two of the same boards were used.
I'm just gonna say this lightly. No one there has an engineering degree. I'm just gonna put it out there lightly.
This
That
says
looks like the
Port
cover of a-
Orange, right? Is that right, Steve? Port
Yes.
Orange? Okay.
Yeah, Port
Go
Orange.
ahead.
Yep, right off
Go-
of Daytona Beach.
Sorry, Bern. Go ahead.
No, I said it looked like the cover of like a Bernstein Bear book.
Dude,
or like
You read my mind.
No,
Right.
what's the one where they rhyme? What's the rhyming one? It's the cat in the hat.
Dr.
It's like
Seuss.
it's something you see.
Seuss,
Cat in the
yeah, I
hat.
mean,
Yeah, look at it.
Dude,
wild structure.
Dude, we built something like this in the woods by my house when we were kids. You know what I mean? Like we had the same exact thing.
Methed out
is
Same
Mikey
budget.
built his own Willy Wonka's chocolate factory on an island, but instead of chocolate and the schnozberries taste like schnozberries, he's ripping rocks out of a pipe.
Wow, dude, unbelievable, man.
And listen,
I mean,
hey, remember, this is still Florida.
right?
Like this ain't no easy feat. There's some critters that'll get you. Like you can say what you want about the no tooth meth man, but
right.
I'm gonna say this: they're alert and they're in the moment.
Yeah, there's definitely someone always on watch.
Yeah,
Yo, it's like a
till that place explodes tomorrow.
Yo, it's like what's the thing in HBO thing? And they got to go to
Game of
the
Thrones.
yeah. It's like having the watchtower. They're like, look, dog, you almost did enough meth to join the family, but you're not quite there. So you got to go to the wall, dog. You're out. You're on the watch. Like, get out to the coast.
Yeah.
When you said HBO show, I was like, what, Chernobyl? 'Cause that's how I see that place pretty much. Like that's the ultimate
Taxi
fate
cab
there.
confession.
Yeah, for sure.
Unbelievable.
My gosh.
I
No,
love Florida.
mean,
I love Florida.
shout out. At least they're trying. I'll tell you what it reminded me of really was The Wire, because legit, if you're like Amsterdam, man, keep this all. If they could keep this all in one place, off the mainland, away from tourists, like honestly, they're kind of doing them a favor. Like the cops all know where it is. They know where they can find it. Like keep it all in one place, because they're going to do it. But if you get them off the island, they're just going to go back to the tourist areas and mess up with the economy.
And what's the worst thing happens? One stumbles into the water, a bull shark grabs him. No harm, no
Right.
foul. You know what I mean?
One less meth
Good for
head.
the environment.
Sorry.
You
Yeah.
know, and a bull shark
Now-
is
now-
full and not going to go in and bite a kid.
Yeah.
Now, or does that shark turn into Cocaine Bear? Because he's now White Gladys on meth, and he terrorizes everyone.
Yeah. You thought White
That's
Glass
something to
was better than
consider.
that. Yeah. Meth.
You're like, get
meth
Mikey
shark.
out of the water. Mikey, get out of the water.
Yeah. Damn. I mean, yikes. Well, that was
And I
some good
almost-
stuff, boys.
I almost asked what they eat, but then I realized I don't think they eat anything, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, their kitchen is used for something else, Steve.
Yeah.
They're
There's
cooking,
one-
just not food.
Yeah.
There's one banana tree on the island, and it's fed everyone for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And eating a banana for them is like eating a steak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
good for
could
a
hear the whole island grinding their teeth at night. Great. All right. Good stuff, boys. Good stuff. Let's keep it moving. So that was some great Stupid Is the Stupid Does. Shout out to our show sponsor, Florida, for bringing it back again. Thank you,
Are wishing
Florida.
well.
Love it. But let's keep it moving. We're going to go into Incredibly Incredible. Liam, I'm going back to you. What do you have for Incredibly Incredible?
A California man was sentenced to 6 years for an $8.7 million cow manure Ponzi scheme.
Yes.
Ray Brewer tricked investors between 2014 and 2017 into thinking he could turn cow manure into green energy. Specifically, he got them to believe that he could turn this manure into methane, which could be used for like all kinds of stuff. You can make ammonia with it, fertilizers, explosives, methanol, chloroform. I think natural gas is methane. There's a ton of stuff you can do with it. But he got them to believe he had like this big, like machine that would like grind it up, and then there was microorganisms in there that would break it down and just leave you with methane. And he promised these guys they'd have the ability to market it as clean energy and everything. He got them to tour. He toured these like farms and everything. So he's got all these rich investors touring these farms that he's like he has all these like fraudulent documents and everything that he forged and whatnot. And he took these people for a ride, but it ended up the whole thing was just nothing but a load of crap.
Now, can I say,
there, Liam? I see what you did.
is he having them tour bullshit on a bullshit premise? My man has these guys. What do you mean touring the farm? Is he like, you see, look at that turd that came out of Bessie. You know what we're going to make out of that?
Yeah.
Well, he's forging these documents saying like, look, someone engineered this for me. We're going to set this up. This farm's already on the hook for it. So you got like these farmers that are actually like, successful farmers. They're into it. They're ready.
Yeah.
They're like, sure, I'll buy in. Here's money towards, to get started and everything. And, he just kept, Ponzi scheme. Like he just kept rolling it over till he got to $8.7 million and nobody got anything and got mad. And now he's going to jail for 6 years.
Yeah.
It's not a bad rap for 8-7.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those like too good to be true deals too, because you think of like there's it's tough for most farmers. You know what I mean? So much of the farming in this country is like corporate farming that you sell this idea of like, no, you can get your energy from something that you actually are paying someone to take away. You know what I mean? Or like it would totally revitalize the entire landscape of being a family farm or like a small production farm. So everybody wants to believe like it's true. And if you get one or two people to invest big time in it, then everybody else will go, okay, well, this guy's successful. He had enough money to put into that. And he thinks it's a good idea. And it's like the too good to be true. Like, so we can create our own power. We'll never have to pay for energy again. And we can even sell our manure, you know what I mean? To pay other costs. I mean, yes, it's, but those are the Ponzi schemes. Like, even though they seem crazy when you look back on them, what the guy's selling is like revolutionary for these people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And look,
Yeah.
I'm not here to be disparaging in any means, but this wasn't Bernie Madoff going against guys from Yale with big time degrees. This man was coming after Jethro on the farm with a new, like you said, methane is everyone. Even my dumbass knows that. When cows fart, they produce methane. It comes out of their poop. It helps with, soil reproduction, all that other stuff. Sounds like an idea. I might throw a couple bucks out if I owned a farm.
Sean Day might do it, like small farmers
Sean's
like that.
He's a Navy SEAL. Take that back. He's way too small.
But I'm saying, like, if this was a legit opportunity, it was something he would look into.
And instead of getting 6 years, Sean would shoot that guy from 500 yards away, directly between his eyeballs. Never would know. One would ever know either.
No,
he was walking on the beach and he tripped and fell into a bullet. So weird.
Right in the forehead, too.
I don't know if you can see this, but he had like fake pictures. He had fake photos and everything of like, here, look, we're in the middle of we're in the middle of constructing one right now. This is where we are, phase 1, blah, blah, blah. Dude, he went the whole 9, dude. He really took
to make 8-7 mil, he definitely went hard.
Yeah, you're right. If you get that far.
This guy's good at what he does.
Yeah.
Which is with not horse shit, right? It's not horse shit.
Yeah, he made something out of crap, dude.
And also, like, yeah, there's education. There's, you're talking about like Bernie Madoff and but like the con artist, the snake oil salesman, like,
Yes.
like those dudes their education doesn't come from school. You know what I mean? Like those dudes have existed always and always will, and that's just, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah. All right, good stuff, man. Good stuff, fellas. Liam, really good. Strong Sam, we're gonna kick it to you. What do you have for incredibly incredible?
So I don't know why I keep going back here. I feel like I've gone here more than usual, but I love this country. We're going back to España, right? We go in Spain. I love this place. I love its people, specifically their women. I love this place, right? So Catalonia. So if you imagine in America, it's like it's the most northeastern province, built up of 4 provinces. It's like the Maine, but with way better weather, not that shitty Maine weather. Okay. But the very top right-hand corner borders to France, right? Happens in this province, happens to be Barcelona, the capital of the country, you know? So the most populated, #1 city there. Catalonia, which is the province, be like North Wales or Lansdale in Montgomery County, you know what I mean? Or blah, blah, blah. They happen to have to remind, I love this. God, I love Spain. They had to remind everyone in all the provinces, there's 4 of them, that your public swimming pools, stop telling girls to put their tops on, because there was a rule passed in 2020 that was an equality rule that any broad who wants to pull out her fun bags can do it, and you can't stop her. And enough girls with the free the nipples, which I'm a proud supporter of, says you cannot tell a woman to put her top on at not a public pool without being fined up to 500,000 euros, which I have no idea how much it is. But it sounds like enough that you're a hater if you're telling her to put her top on. This isn't a mean thing. We're not talking about walking around with my sweaty nuts and my brajol hanging through the thing. You know what I mean? No. This isn't a bad thing. Yeah. I agree. I support them, and I hope that I bring some, I don't know, strength to this movement.
Right. I mean, let's be honest, guys. Breasts are some of the greatest things on earth, right?
I agree.
They bring so much joy to so many. They are incredible. And I'm for one, 1,000% support this bill and this law. And you know what? Spain's got it right, because we need to see thee. All right. It's for everybody. Go ahead.
It's educational, and they nurture the youth.
Yes.
What a lot of people don't realize is that topless public nudity has been decriminalized in pretty much every big city in the United States. So while it's not legal, it's like a jaywalking fine. Right? A cop can be like, I'm gonna give you a $50 ticket to put. So we're not totally at the whole level of Spain, like it's just free, but it's been decriminalized. It's not a public indecency. It's not going to be something that like hits your record and follows you. I mean, they do that naked bike race in Philadelphia, which is a lot of that is really just like people turning the other way. You acting like you have no awareness of the naked bike race.
I do know. I saw this in the Inquirer.
I did not know there was a thing.
It's every year, but I did know this. So they also did this, Bern. So I don't know. I don't think that law applies in as many cities as you think, because there is the naked hiking excursion they did this year. And they found out that on any federally owned property or state park, you cannot be topless. So if you did it, you had to find private property to hike on while nude. So they like messed the whole thing up. The Inquirer got a note. They were like, they should just be able to walk nude. I'm like, let's not do nude, because I don't need to see some old man's balls. But
right. It's the men that ruin the
nobody's
nudity
upset.
thing.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, if it was just women allowed to do the nudity thing, I think everyone's complaining. On board. Right. No one's ever going to complain.
Even gay guys are like, I don't care. It's all good. Yeah.
Come on. But yeah.
Ain't my type.
No, it's the men that ruin it. They really do. And I'll tell you, it's also like, we don't want to see let's just say the lower end of the scale.
Or do we, Matt? I need to know what's good to see the bad. I need to know what's good, right?
Well, I guess, to really enjoy the big shows.
Yes.
Right. You need to have
the sideshow.
Right. And there's nothing wrong. Hey, man, all you need is a handful or a mouthful or whatever blows your boat full.
You know, right? It's like that nude beach philosophy, though. Like when you're a kid, you're like, a nude beach is going to be so cool. I can't believe I can go to a nude beach and just like see boobs. And then you get there,
it's all old people.
And everyone's 68 years old, and everyone is mangled, and it's just not. It's Not what you dreamed. You know,
Not
don't
what I
meet your
used
heroes.
to jack off to.
It's like
You're
people
all
who don't
boobs
care
are
anymore.
different sizes. Yeah.
Yo, in a previous relationship, I was in Vegas and we were staying at the what's the one where the guy shot everybody and all the boxing fights are? It's
Caesar's Palace, MGM.
no MG or no, not MGM.
It's not Win.
No,
Mandalay
where
Bay?
the guy. Yes, Mandalay Bay, where the guy shot everybody from the window. So we were in Mandalay Bay, almost right where that guy shot from, which is wild. Like the scene, I was like, holy shit, that was like right where my room was. But they have a European pool, they call it, right? And Mandalay Bay is known to have like the biggest amount of pools. They have like 10 pools on their property, right?
Yeah.
I go up and I'm like, European pool, what's that? And the guy's like, oh, it's Topless. I looked at her. I was like, oh, we're going. She's like, yeah, I don't care. I was like, cool, let's roll. Get up there. The guy's like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm like, oh, what, buddy? He's like, it's $50 a person. I'm like, well, wait, she gonna pull the old fun bags out. She got to pay $50? He was like, sure does. And I'm like, and they have a wall. So I don't know what's behind the wall, like Bern said.
Right.
I don't know if it's the geriatric crew that already hit bingo and the buffet and are now just trying to feel free because their titties sweat. Yeah. I need to see. Can I get a peek? What if I give you a 20? Can I look in the door? He was like, absolutely not. I was like, well, then I can see her titties for free. I'm going home.
Yeah. You got to test drive the car before you buy it, pal. That's for sure.
Right?
That is for
You got to at least let me in the showroom.
Right.
You know?
Right?
Yeah.
I got a window shop.
Right. All right. So that was some really good stuff, guys. Really good stuff. We're going to keep it going to sports and speds. Strong Sam, I'm going to come back to you. What do you got for sports and spades?
I don't know if this is technically a sport, but I will give it this. I used to make fun of my uncle all the time. Shout out my uncle Chris. He was the commander of the final NASA mission that ever went up to the space station. He's a legend in Philadelphia, grew up in Northeast. Went to Drexel and was the commander of the final shuttle in NASA. Big deal, right? Also was the teacher and top guy at a Top Gun school back in the day. One of the first 5 guys ever to fly the F-22 Raptor. I mean, this guy, he's legit, right? Big door. He's legit though. Like, I mean, I don't know if he could play pickleball, but he can fly the most advanced weapons the world's ever seen, right? And has the cojones to sit on a giant gas tank and get shot to who knows where. We'll just figure it out and hopefully we land there, right? That's how I think they do it, but it's not. So the old Virgin guy, after seeing old, I don't know, the submarine from hell, said, let me capitalize on the rich people that are so bored with life, they just need to do shit to do shit. Mm-hmm. He's now pumping his commercial. I love how he says commercial. Like I could just slide into Philly International and be like, hey, I'm on the flight to the moon. He'd be like, yeah, no doubt. It's on runway 3. Make sure you hit your turnstile. You know what I mean? Like this isn't a commercial flight. Don't call it that. But he's offering new commercial flights to space. And as we were going over this and you know, being part of I thought of the first story. I said, Daytona Beach is very close to Cape Canaveral, and it is a spectacle. I've been down there for all 3 of his liftoffs. One was during the day, one was at night, or 2 at the day. The final shuttle ever was at night, which was incredible. It lit up the entire ocean with the flame. And this is a crazy part too. In the water, it's called the Banana River that goes right in front of Cape Canaveral. And this Banana River, everyone was like, yo, watch the water. You'll see what happens. The vibration is so intense from the rocket when it goes to lift off. Fish jump out of the water. Alligators run to land. It is insane what happens in the water. Probably from like, you know, they work off vibration, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's insane. So we see that, right? What do you think Meth Island thinks when one of these bad boys takes off? Is this the greatest day of their life? Do they think they're here for the space shuttle that's now coming down and they're the ones that are going to be taken with ET is going to accept us? I don't know why I didn't even care about the story anymore. All I could think about was the guys on Meth Island when they launched something from Cape Canaveral. How insanely awesome must be to be on the 4th floor, the penthouse, penthouse.
Sure, of the welcome.
That treehouse. Yeah, the welcome center.
Yeah, I would have to think it might be kind of like if it's vibrating that much, right? Like these guys are probably trying to hold the treehouse together.
Yeah, because no one's an engineer. We saw their engineering skills.
Yeah.
No one's a carpenter.
No.
Who knows what kind of, you know, strange, not necessarily strange, but rare gases and combination of gases maybe put out into the atmosphere based on the shuttle launch.
I will say this, you gotta
go up in, it might be Nagasaki, you know.
I did get the cool experience of standing by that famous clock where you see a countdown for like the space shuttles to go up. That's where the family sits, and everyone else that's public has to be like half a mile behind that, right? You get your own little island. I wasn't up in I would call it like the press box, but my cousins and my aunt, who are immediate family, where the other family gets like gather on like bleachers and stuff out there. When it first hit and you hear the boom, huge gust of wind, and you might as well be a top fuel drag thing. All you smell is gas, and like people are like, "Oh!" I'm like, "It's my everyday job." I know it sucks, doesn't it? But whatever. But it's a intense experience. So for them to call it a commercial flight and now bring this out after these absolute dipshits who have we have to brainstorm and find a new thing that we can market towards these ultra rich I want to be like, look, you're so rich, nothing excites you. Let Matt use your balls like the John in the gym, the speed bag, and pay me $200,000. Let him just beat your nuts up, because this is where they're at this point. Like, they're just doing shit to do shit again.
Yeah.
You want a thrilling experience? All right, we change places for a week and you pay my bills on my salary.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
hey,
remember,
you want to be thrilled? You want to be thrilled?
You want to be terrified?
Here's a kayak. Head towards the welcome center. I'm sure you'll get some thrills there.
Dude, I mean, honestly, man, I think you guys would agree. Eventually, like, there's going to be, you could take a cruise in space. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, that's coming, like that's.
But this is the other thing that got me mad when Bronson does this. He uses space so loosely, right? Because there's the upper and lower atmospheric levels, right? You have to get to like 80,000, I think it is, because the space station is like 130 miles above Earth. The actual to get to zero gravity is like 80. So those plane flights they're doing are only to like 60,000, and they just do that they hover up there for a couple minutes and come down. You're not truly leaving the atmosphere, because the big thing is when you leave the atmosphere, not as hard, it's the coming back in. I don't know if anybody ever remembers all those astronauts burning up because a little piece of insulation fell off. It is no joke. So it's not like there's no commercial flight, they call it. I can't get over that term. Commercial flight. First off, it's not space. Second off, I'm not picking that up in Newark. I'm not going to LaGuardia to get on the space shuttle. What are you talking about? Commercial flight? Do I have to check in my bag? They're like, that's a carry-on. Sorry, that's extra. I'm like, I'm going to die.
Could you imagine being in Newark International and being like, now departing from Gate C, the spaceship, You're like,
I'd be walking by pointing
Newark.
at people like, that's my ticket. That's me. Yeah. That's me.
All right. That was some good stuff, guys. Real good, Steve. All right, let's keep it moving then. Lasmeeshma, what do you got for Spoats and Speds?
So I feel like this story should, like, we have like a lot of like fighters on this show and everything. You guys all go to that gym and whatnot. This should offend you guys too. So the Italian government has offered up Rome's Colosseum to Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg so they can have their little fight. Mark Zuckerberg's people was approached by the government, and Zuckerberg's representatives passed the message on to UFC President Dana White, who's arranging the bout and whatnot, and his team have contacted the politician. Sources told the outlet both Mark and Tesla boss Elon would love to fight at the Coliseum, which is one of the 7 wonders of the world. So how do you guys feel about that? You have like all these like legit fighters and everything in the world.
Well, let me put this out there. 2
goofballs they're going to put like,
I will say this.
I
will say this. We do know, if you guys don't know, so there's a huge size difference. Elon Musk is an enormous human, big South African man.
So
is he really?
So he's like 6'4", 230.
Yeah,
really?
Elon's
burly too.
Big man.
They have Elon at 6'2", 230 pounds. And
the other one's a midget. He's like 140.
Zuckerberg is 5'7", 145 pounds.
Yes. Now here's the mix-up, right? Zuckerberg privately flies out one of the best practitioners in all of jiu-jitsu. One of like the phenoms of jiu-jitsu right now, Marky Musumeci. This little Italian kid is the bull. Like, they have him in main events on one championship over, and like in the middle of a cage fight, they have a straight jiu-jitsu match. That's how like entertaining this kid is. And he's been on podcasts like Rogan and stuff where he tells how he goes there and trains Zuckerberg one-on-one. He's like, it's actually decent. And they're like, yeah, you said it because he gives you $500 million an hour. But
sure.
Keep saying it. But there is just like, talk about, that would be like, I don't, it's like having a chihuahua that's like a game bred chihuahua going in there against a pit bull. And you're just like, I guess I'll watch it.
Right.
But don't you guys think like just have this fight at like a regular, you know what I mean? Like in Las Vegas or something as like an exhibition. Don't turn this into something where They're at the Colosseum in Rome, where like they don't have a lot of events and everything. Come on.
Well, I mean, to be honest, like I'm not trying to brag, but I've been to the Colosseum, right? There's nowhere to sit. Like I don't know where.
That's
like,
what they said.
There's where would they even have? Like it would
Also,
have to. Like they'd have to build stands. There's literally nowhere to sit in this place.
No, you're right. There's only room for 400 people. And in 2003, just at a Paul McCartney concert, they sold it out, and they had to, and each seat, no matter where it was, had to be $1,500 a ticket. In 2003, 20 years ago.
Yeah, imagine the prices now for those two rich queers.
Yeah. Exactly.
I've been on the they have, when I went there, I did a tour there. They have this thing of the tour where you can go through the gladiators entrance, where you entrance through like it's like
that's
the back,
very cool.
You know, like it's like the tunnel. You go through the tunnel and you're on the floor of the arena, bro.
Did you feel like like
it's incredible.
Millions of years of just souls in there.
The craziest thing is you go there and you're standing on where the floor level would be. Like you'd be on the arena floor, and then you look down and they have it open to all the different like tunnels and stuff. They
come up and stuff. Yeah.
Like they had it below the arena floor, you know, and they were talking about how they had like water battles and everything. And the crazy thing is the seats they had were marble shipped from Africa was what the seats were made of. Which is like in Rome, they're shipping from a quarry in Africa. They're shipping marble. Like, it's just incredible.
I'm the richest place in the world. I'm taking all the goodness.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It just was Rome flexing, but still it was. But to be fair, there's nowhere to sit anywhere. And then also this thing is covered in penises. There is, and it's not graffiti now. It was graffiti then, because when you leave, they would have penises they would be carved into the wall, and the penises would point in the direction of the closest brothel.
So Rome is gay, and then you realize it's not gay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's just Rome being Rome, babe.
Now listen, if we're gonna have it in the Coliseum, we gotta make this realistic, right? If you guys really want to get down, like Liam said, it's not in like the MGM, it's not Mandalay Bay. You really want to do this? I need one of two things. Either one of you dies in that pit, one of you dies, we fight to the death, or we get old school and we release like cool animals to like spice it up. Because once you see these two queers rolling around and playing touch butt in the park with the guy in his ponytail, nobody wants to watch that. Let the lion out. Let's mix it up a little bit. Find out,
Well, that's what I was going to say. Who's what's Joaquin Phoenix's character in Gladiator?
King Prince.
Oh my God,
whatever.
Yeah,
what's his name? It's bothering me as well too. Like Elon Musk and Zuckerberg. It's like, can you imagine what would be like? Hey, Joaquin Phoenix character is going to fight himself. There'll be no cool animals. No good fighters. Probably no one will die. Probably no one will land a blow. Like what a sad thing. I mean, it's perfect. It's like, here are two people with so much money.
Commodus.
They're like, how?
Yeah.
Commodus. All right. Yeah. So how many people are going to the Commodus v. Commodus fight? Guaranteed no wild animals. Like I'm out. I'm doing something else that weekend.
I mean,
only 400 guys show up. This isn't the what did they used to hold? Matt, you were there. How many? What was the peak of it? Was it like 80,000 in the Coliseum?
I was going to say 80,000 too.
It was something around that.
Yeah, not 400. Not 400.
Yeah, it was unreal. It is jaw-droppingly massive. It's like the size of the Link, bigger actually, but. It's nuts, and all made out of stone and marble. It was crazy. I will say this: if they do want to fight in the Coliseum, then it should be mandatory that they fight to the death.
I agree. I'm in, because then you want to charge me $200 a pay-per-view? You want to go?
I'm tuning in.
You want to go $199.99?
Yeah.
I'm in.
Deal.
It'll be the most bought pay-per-view of all time if they're going to fight to the death.
Or if they won't do all that, they should put a stipulation in, like. Loser has to like if Zuckerberg wins, Twitter is done forever. If Musk wins, then Facebook is gone forever.
They should bet their platforms, right? Like, if Elon Musk wins, he should get Facebook and vice versa, right? Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, man, really good stuff.
And the winner,
guys.
And the winner follows the penises
I mean,
to glory.
I feel like they both are probably Pretty familiar with that.
I didn't know Musk was that big.
Yo,
He's
he's
burly.
South
He's
African,
burly.
cuz.
Also, I mean, he's an alien, so
Yeah.
They're
Very true.
both not humans. Yeah.
Right.
Zuckerberg's
The one-
a lizard man. And
Yeah, one drinks water, but he doesn't drink water. And the other one is just the smartest. You ever see him on, every time they talk to him on Rogan, he's so effing smart. You like that one, Matt? He's so effing smart that he like has a pause before every answer because he said he would go over it in his own mind and have to break down his answer to like layman's terms so people can understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a robot. There's this weird pause.
Me
And then
too.
he
That's what
starts
I
talking.
do every day, all the time.
when
I'm always trying to
dude,
break
you
it
just
down.
know, like, I mean, is his people skills that bad? Like, just when he tried to smoke weed and he's like, "Oh, that's nice, that's nice."
yeah.
Like, is that what people say? I
And
don't
then
know.
the stock
Yeah, that
immediately
was-
crashed
yeah.
and went back
Yeah.
up.
Never
So-
seen that reaction. Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah,
That's
oh,
a spliff.
lovely. Yeah,
And
that's
Rogan's trying-
That's quite aggressive.
Rogan's explaining to him that Charlie Murphy's the one who turned him on to this. You can see Musk like, who is Sir Charlie Murphy? You're like, nah, that's what I wouldn't call him Sir. Never mind. Yeah, call him that. Yeah,
You can call him
that.
Darkness.
What a fine thing to say to the face.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
Ah!
R.I.P. Shout out Charlie Murphy. All right, we're coming to the top of time. All right,
Sue me.
before we get out of here, Strong Sam, what do you got to say before we get out of here?
I was about to just lay off a huge F word because I got annoyed, but I'm not going to do it because I love Matt, even though I don't love him.
Appreciate you.
And I love him a little bit more than I love Lady Guadalupe's son. And I just want everyone out there to know when you come into a tough time, you want to know what to do. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a MMA fight in the Coliseum coming up. You're worth $1 billion. Stop, deep breath, and ask what Jesus would do.
Amen. Shout out. Benoit Pahukase, what do you got to say before we get out of here?
I think what Jesus would do would be like, man, I'm in the Colosseum. I am super screwed. Like a handful of Romans in my own hometown were a problem.
Yeah.
They're really gonna. This is really gonna be a bad time for me. So
Yeah.
that's all I think. That's it. That's it.
Rough.
Those are all my thoughts.
Yeah, it could only be worse if he was in a synagogue in the Coliseum. You know what I mean? Like, hey, oh. All right. Either way, Lasmeeshma, what do you got to say before we get out of here?
Next time, some quick talking salesman's trying to show you documents and pictures and everything. You got to go Lalo from Better Call Saul. You got to go show me. Because all I showed him was the pictures and stuff. Show me in person. All
Love
these
it.
people could have avoided getting ripped off. They just said, show me in person.
Nice. Well,
And before we end, hold on. I just thought of this. Can we all say happy birthday to America? Because we just breezed over it like it didn't happen. Can we all just say happy birthday? And maybe, I don't know, the Pledge of Allegiance?
God bless America.
No.
I mean, yep.
I love America for all you nerds.
Speaking of loving America, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by Strong Stem Steve Cabot, Lasmeeshma, Liam Reese, and the bad boy Benoit Podcasy, Bern Podcasy. In case you're wondering, you find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. Yeah, us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. And please like, subscribe so we keep bringing you this sweet, sweet content. Thanks for listening, and God bless America. Thanks. See you. All right. So post-show, like we're saying, we're about to record everyone's new favorite hot show. It is Let's Get Retorted, and it's Let's Get Some Fun Going, because this show is a blast. And, well, we got some stuff to talk about, fellas. We got some stuff to talk about. So, yep, this is the end of the show. So go to our YouTube channel for Let's Get Retorted. Let's Get Retorted. All right. Thanks. Bye.